Good morning, Willow class. Okay, so you might be a bit confused. It is Tuesday, the 7th of July. I've just put this work up from yesterday, and that's because we did a fab job. And actually, the plan that we developed together and by ourselves yesterday is actually going to help us today when we come to do our own character description. So we filled in these two boxes yesterday, the personality description and the appearance of August. We got some really good vocabulary from Word Hippo and from our vocabulary chart here. And I love this, that most of you actually used the words from here because it just gives us extra vocab to actually look at and makes our work a little bit better. It gives us the time to think about things or words that we wouldn't normally use, and that's just super. So today we're actually going to use this plan that we got yesterday, and we're going to look at writing our own description, which uses relative clauses and similes. So we know what a relative clause is. We've done it over and over again this past couple of weeks, and we've done it for this year. So it's just adding a little bit more detail about the noun that you are talking about. And in this instance, the noun is our character, which is August. We also then want similes. So a simile, if you remember, compares your character to something else. So yesterday, some of the children that were in school came up with a blue checkered shirt that, and then they said, covered August like a cloak. And that was just a really good example of a simile because it's saying it's covering him like something else would cover him, okay? So that makes you think his shirt's really big and baggy and maybe he's quite petite for his age. So because that's our lesson objective, it doesn't mean that you have to include it in every sentence. It just means that you have to include it once or twice to achieve your actual objective. Now, down this side, you might obviously not be able to actually see what words are here, but I've posted this picture below, just as a reminder that I want you to include that amazing vocabulary from yesterday's lesson. And then we've got our success criteria. So our success criteria says that I want you to include a simile and a relative clause, which of course is in our objective. So they're easily achieved. Then I want some good vocabulary, which is from here or from Word Hippo. Either way, I'm sure you'll get that in. And then as a little bit of a challenge, I'd like for you to include brackets. And noun phrases are really simple. A noun phrase is something like this: sad blue eyes, wild brown hair. Okay, we've just added our relative clause here, sad blue eyes that beg for happiness. A blue checkered shirt is my noun phrase, and I've added my relative clause here that covered August like a cloak. Okay. So again, that's another part of the success criteria, which should be nice and simple. Now, I have been really, really kind to you today, and I've actually started to write my own description, and that's just because I love teaching character descriptions. I think they're so simple. If you get a really detailed plan, I think it's really nice and simple. So you can see I've just changed the colour so it stands out from the rest. This is the start, not the whole, of my character description. So it is a long, nice piece of writing that's going to get all of that good vocabulary, at least one or two similes and relative clauses, and some fantastic noun phrases. So let's have a quick read of this together. August is a 10-year-old boy who needs lots of love and support. Now, if we whiz back to here we go. Oh no, sorry, it was there. August needs lots of love and support was on my plan. So again, I've just pulled it and kept it simple. He has a raspy, quiet voice and is often unheard amongst large crowds of people. Here, a raspy, quiet voice that is unheard amongst crowds of people. So my plan yesterday is going directly into this. Now, we don't just want to include all appearance. We want some appearance and some personality. So I need to pull it from both parts of my plan. Okay. So because I'm pulling it from both parts of my plan, it just helps to blend your writing and make it not as robotic when you read. This may be due to his developmental issues caused when he was born. August has had to have many operations to appear like any other ordinary child. He wears a blue checkered shirt that covers him like a cloak and is extremely fascinated in space. That's pretty ordinary, okay? So here you can see that I've talked about some of the things that would make him ordinary, as we would say. And that's not offensive really, because he's used that word in the book. So we had a bit of a discussion about this in school yesterday, and some people said, well, is that not a bit rude and not very nice? You are right, it is. It doesn't sound very nice, but because he's used that vocabulary in the book in first person, that's why I've said it's okay to use here. So I've started my description off here. Now, you could see that on my plan there were loads of other things that I haven't actually included so far. So I would then pull those things and go into detail and talk about it. So I've said a little bit about what he's like and what he's into. So now I'm going to talk about his face and his hair and things like that. So I'm going to go back to August instead of he, or if we know, as we know, we can change it to the boy who, the young boy, and then we get our relative clause in, who has shaggy brown hair, comma, loves to spend time with his family. He enjoys shopping with his mum for new clothes and playing space games with his dad. Okay, so again, I'm not talking about where he's going shopping. I'm not talking about his day at school. It's just character description. This, okay, that's all I am focusing on. What he looks like and what his personality is. Okay, so don't start veering away from it. Let's just focus on that. I would then go into even more detail. I want this to be a really good chunky piece of writing. So I'll go into even more detail about the way he looks, about his voice, about his body size and shape and things like that. Talk about his fashion sense, talk about his hobbies, everything. Okay. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how you get on with this piece of writing today, and just pull it all from your plan to make it nice and simple for you. I'll include below this word map, so that if you wanted to print it off or just use it in your work today to help you out, then you can. Okay, good luck with your writing, everybody, and have a fab day.